I actually found out about FIRST from this team. About 10 years ago, I read in the local downtown newspaper that there was going to be a robotics demonstration at World Financial Center. I went and I saw this 5-foot-tall robot. I asked a lot of questions, so the students on the team told me that you could go see them compete for free that spring, which I did. I was one of the people there who was not affiliated with a school or a team, so I was encouraged to volunteer the next year, which I did. I was in crowd control. I got to see the game up close that year, and it was awesome. The year after that was the very first year that FRC had Java available as a programming language. While I still knew very little about robots, I did know a lot about Java. I reached out to the closest FRC team to my office, Stuyvesant, and asked about mentoring. I taught them about Java, they taught me about robots, and I'm still with the team. That is so much easier than what the students have to do, which is balance robotics with school, because work doesn't give you homework. What I do is I keep a to-do list electronically where I have context. Is it something that I have to be home for? Is it something that I have to be out for? Or is it just something on the internet I can do at any location? That lets me make the most of lulls in the lab while I'm mentoring. One year I had to take a certification test the day after Stop Build Day. I had flashcards, which I used at every single meeting. I probably studied about 10 to 15 minutes a meeting in little tiny pieces, and it worked. I passed the test, and I was able to mentor. My favorite FIRST memory is seeing the students grow from year to year. There are a number of students where I saw them freshman year, they didn't know anything about programming, and in many cases they were really quiet. Then sophomore year, they knew about programming, and they were already teaching the 9th graders what to do. A few of those kids, including our current VP of Software Engineering, later went on to be VP and hopefully President of Software Engineering. It's great seeing that growth because that shows that FIRST is working. The students are actually learning from it, becoming stronger individuals. My first piece of advice is remember to do your homework and study for exams. You don't want to be in a position where you can't go to competition because you didn't study. The other piece of advice is ask lots and lots of questions. Maybe it's about your division, in my case software engineering, or maybe it's not. Maybe you're in software engineering but you want to know about the robot or vice versa. Either way, it's a great opportunity to learn. That's actually another memory for me. We were waiting for the robot to get the code deployed. In the olden days, that was about a minute of waiting where nothing happened. A student asked me if I was going on a trip with them, and I said no because I was out of vacation. This was October. He told me that school had just started, which led to an explanation of how vacation works in an office where you get some in January and then it's gone by the end of the year. It turned out I was the first person he ever met who worked in an office. That was a really cool experience for me because it wasn't about FIRST, but he got to learn something useful, and now he works in an office.